Penniless Parenting and the author of the book Penniless Foodie in the Wild, Adaptable Recipes for Foragers and Frugalistas. It's been a while since I've made some videos, and my son Lee is trying to convince me to make a lot more YouTube videos and post them. So here I am. This video is actually by request. So many people see that I post a lot about cooking with my pressure cooker, and they say, "Oh my gosh, pressure cookers are so scary. Can you please explain to us why someone would want to use a pressure cooker and how they're not dangerous and things like that?" So I first want to say I have a little bit of an obsession with pressure cookers. You see these three? I've got another three, actually. Why? Because I use them each for different things, and I often do a lot of cooking at the same time. So, and all of my pressure cookers are bought on sale. Two of them I actually just bought, and it's really, really exciting for me. These two actually are brand new. What I'm actually going to do with the pressure cooker today is cook a beef roast. See, I got this gigantic hunk of beef. It is frozen, and it is a very, very tough cut of meat. If I want to stick it in a roasting pan and cook it in the oven, it would take me something about 6 hours maybe to cook it. But I could stick it frozen in my pressure cooker right now, and it probably will be ready and soft, delectably pull apart soft, melt in your mouth in about an hour. All I have to do is stick it in the pressure cooker, add water and salt, and I could add seasoning, but at this point I'm probably not going to, and then set it to pressure. So let me explain how they work. First of all, people are scared about pressure cookers because in the past they were made differently than they were today. If you come take a look, Mr. Video Man, the pressure cooker has a few different parts. They have this part over here. This is a safety valve that if it reaches too high of a pressure, it will just pop off. But okay, so actually, let me start over. Pressure cookers, you see how they have a round cover like this, and then the thing on top. So you put the pressure cooker inside the pan, and then you turn this over, and that is how it gets to a seal. When it's sealed, that pressure valve that I pointed out before is actually underneath here. So if it reaches too much pressure, that little bit will just pop off, but it won't actually go anywhere. Nothing will actually spray on anyone because it's underneath here. Okay, that's one safety mechanism of the modern pressure cookers. Another thing is that there's two pressure release valves over here. This one pops up automatically. It's a little stick that will pop up, and it'll get into this hole over here. And that's when it's at pressure. And because it's at pressure like that, then you can't even open the pressure cooker when it's all the way at pressure, and that is another safety mechanism. And this one also, it will also release pressure when it gets too full, so you don't have to worry about pressure cookers exploding. The thing is, though, not every pressure cooker has this safety valve. The ones that do have it are better, in my opinion, because it means you can't accidentally open it up when it's pressured. If you do try to open up a pressure cooker when it's pressured, it can hurt you. So the way to know if it's too pressured or not is if you go like this, if you pick this up, it releases the pressure. If it no longer makes any noise when you pick it up, it means it's no longer in pressure. But this one has a second mechanism of having that pop up. This pressure cooker does not have one of those. So with these, you just lift up the valve, and when it no longer makes a noise, that's how you know it's no longer in pressure. But they're both very safe to use. This one's just extra safe, and that's why most of my pressure cookers do have these. These just were much cheaper, so that's why I was willing to buy them even without that. Okay, so now why am I using this gigantic one? Well, my pressure cooker, this hunk of meat won't fit in my smaller ones, so I will just stick that in there. And I've got another hunk of meat, and I'm going to stick it in there as well. And then I'm going to add some water to it and salt. And it depends on how you want to do it. You could boil it or you could steam things. I will be boiling this roast. So I'm going to fill it probably most of the way with water. And then I'm going to add some salt. And then there's two things I'm going to do with it. Well, you saw there's two of the roasts in there. The bigger one, first of all, I'm cooking both of them until they're soft. But then the bigger one, I will be cutting up and be cooking again in a sauce in the oven, baking it. Because that doesn't have to be for so long, but it's just for it to absorb the flavor. And the second roast, I will just slice up and I will use it in stir fries because even though it's a really tough cut of meat, you could use it like minute steak or anything once it's softened like this. So that is my favorite thing to do with a pressure cooker. Other things I like to do with pressure cookers are, face it on me. Other things I like doing with the pressure cooker are making things like chicken soup. or cooking rice. With the rice, once you reach, okay, the way it works with a pressure cooker is you turn on the fire, and then it'll start just heating up like normal, but then at a certain point it'll do what's called reaching pressure. And when that happens on the ones that have the valve, it'll have the piece pop up and lock it. The other ones, it'll just start making a hissing noise, and that's when you know it's at pressure. So then most pressure cooking recipes give you instructions for once it's at pressure. So rice, once it's at pressure, you cook it for 4 more minutes and then it's finished cooking, and it's really awesome. So rice is really great to cook in a pressure cooker. Chicken soup, I could do a nice hearty chicken soup in like half an hour. I could even take a frozen chicken. This is one actually of my hacks. I take a frozen chicken and I stick a whole frozen chicken in the pressure cooker with some white wine and some vegetables. My favorite are actually onions and fennel and carrots, and then and salt, and close it up, and in about half an hour I have a nice juicy moist fully cooked chicken, and then the broth is delicious, and I eat it together. So there you have pressure cooking, and I'm not going to be videoing this the whole time, but you'll just have to trust me on this one. I will put a link, I'll put a picture afterwards about what the meat looks like when it's fully cooked, but it will be awesome. And there you have it, pressure cookers. How to use them? Oh, sorry. And people say, are they even healthy to use? Well, actually, people say that it's healthier to use a pressure cooker because they cook for much quicker. So that means that the proteins are less broken down, so it's actually more nutritious. And because it's very sealed, all the nutrients are staying inside. So again, that's more nutritious. And yeah, so there's nothing unhealthy about it. And I think every home should have a pressure cooker or 2 or 6.